Hey there. Welcome to Tabletop Finds, brought to you by Tabletop Travel Guide.
Hello.
I'm Tyler.
I'm Sam.
I'm Ryan.
And today we are going to dive into the wild world of versatile heritages.
Versatile heritages.
Yes. So we did a episode about ancestries.
Uh-huh.
And each ancestry has its own set of sub-heritages.
Yep.
I just feel like the heritage plural is such a weird
Heritages?
word to say.
Heritages.
It just feels like it's going on too long.
Yeah.
Every time you say it. Too many syllables.
That word is way too many syllables.
Hermitages.
Hermitages. So every ancestry has their own like set of sub-heritage. Dear Lord,
No,
yeah.
you're not
I
gonna
hear it
say
now.
There it is.
Sorry. I broke it for everybody.
It's fine. Heritages. But one of the things you can do is get a versatile heritage. So these are all available to basically any ancestry you pick.
Mhm.
You can kind of stack on a versatile heritage. So instead of being like a mountain elf or a whatever, you can instead pick a versatile heritage which you are touched by like some sort of different bloodline down the road.
Something special.
Yeah. What's your guys' experience with this? I have not actually, I don't think I've ever built a character with a versatile heritage in 2E.
In 2E, no. I definitely had a couple 3-5 characters when that was... But it wasn't... The system was different, right? Like if you...
Well, and
like,
a lot of the versatile heritages now were just like ancestries in 3.5.
Yeah, like I was going to say Azamar. Like I know I had an Azamar Kobold,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but Azamar is like not
think-
even called Azamar anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like at one point I had a changeling, but I now can't remember if that was an NPC that I built for a campaign that I was running or if it was a character that I played.
Might have been a character you play or an NPC.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm like, because that's the only one that I've really played with in a build, but it was for a plot point in some capacity.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah. So versatile heritages are pretty cool. So we each brought 2.
Yep.
So we're going to talk, the one we picked and a couple feats we liked about it. But yeah, they're just kind of a cool way to like anything else in Pathfinder, there's a million ways to spice up your character. And I feel like this is a way to spice up your character in a way that might give you a little bit more story beat than just normal heritages.
Yeah, I think you'd be hard pressed for, at least for some of them. Like the common ones aren't as outrageous, but some of the, especially some of the uncommon and rares, like you better have a reason
Yeah.
to be some of these things.
That's true. And yeah, I guess in terms of you have the 2 common ones are, unless anybody picked one of those,
No.
No.
half elf and half orc, which are now Dromar is the half orc and
The elf word starts with an A, and I'm not entirely sure.
Ayuvaran.
Yeah.
Are you Varin? Yes,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to. I
Yeah.
really got to work to remember that.
Yep. I've done both of those, but those are like
Mhm.
basically ancestries, so it's a
Yeah.
little bit less.
Yeah,
Whatever. Yeah. So shall we dive in?
let's go for it.
Who wants to go first? Ryan, you want to go first?
Yeah, so going with my general theme of I like blacksmithing and metal things, I'm going to go with the Talos versatile heritage, and it's not one that I don't think we've really had these even. Like I was trying to think of a 3-5 equivalent, and I really couldn't. So it's like being influenced by the elemental plane of metal.
Okay.
You have like coppery like strands in your hair, like your skin shines like one of the metals, and you're just generally influenced by the preponderance and the varieties of metals in the elemental plane of metal.
That's pretty cool because
It's pretty metal.
well, and also like the plane of metal is quote unquote new to Rage of Elements.
Yes.
Is with that, we're taking from the kind of the Eastern understanding of elements as wood
Yes.
and metal. So that's pretty
Yes.
cool to have like the metal influence metal ancestry.
Yeah, so I thought that was pretty cool. I tried to keep it low key for the feats for my first one. So I looked at the feat Precious Alloys,
Okay.
a level 5 feat. Choose cold iron or silver. Your melee unarmored attacks have the special properties of a metal, of that metal. So like your body is so infused with cold iron or silver that you just automatically get that on your melee attacks.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
that's cool.
And then as you level up, if you're 13th, you can also get adamantine.
Ooh, nice.
So yeah, like I could picture like a monk who's like a metal monk,
Ooh, I like
and
that.
you're like, oh, we're fighting ghosts, or we're fighting these people, like we're fighting werewolves. Like, good thing my punches are made of silver.
It's kind of funny because I'm pretty sure monks themselves get like their fists at some point count as cold iron, but like it makes no sense as to why. It's just like your fists are now magical as part of Cold Iron.
Sure,
so it's cool to have
sure.
like an ancestry that's like, no, you were actually influenced by the plane of metal, and this is why you're.
Here's why this makes sense.
Yeah, your fists are like physically made of silver.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
I thought it was pretty like, and that seems like a fairly easy one to integrate into a backstory. Like,
Yeah.
I have some like especially resplendent skin, or like I got some cool little chains in my hair, and it could be a thing, or like maybe my hair is actually chains. Like,
Yeah, yeah, and it could both be a story beat, or it could not be. Like,
Yeah.
you could just do your thing.
yeah, so fairly flexible.
Yeah.
You should give your character a grill.
But that's the only thing. They look like a normal elf, except gold teeth.
Yes.
Perfect. It's a choice.
But I'm Talos. Aren't you just kind of a person who chose that life?
Nope.
Talos.
It's the Talos life.
It's a Talos life. I know your family history.
Yeah.
Nice. I like it.
Cool. All right. So my first one, I chose Gonzi,
Okay.
which is the heritage that is the children of chaos.
Oh.
It comes from the Maelstrom, which if you'll remember when we did our tour of the plains, the Maelstrom is like the churning ocean with the drain in the middle.
Yeah.
And then the
Sure.
land is like all those kind of islandy things around the edges.
Isn't like the drain in the Maelstrom what like kind of feeds back into the
Yes.
entire cycle of the underworld, or not the underworld
of the
but
plains.
The plains.
Yep. So all the energy, that's where it like exits to be reborn, essentially.
Okay.
Also known as the primal sea of creation.
Ooh.
Sure.
So there you go. So Gonzis can either be people who were born of mortals who mingled with beings of the Maelstrom, or it could be people descended from people who sailed the Cerulean Void, or people who are born in places where the material plane is very
Sure.
thin next
Mhm.
to the Maelstrom.
Sure. Touched. Yeah.
Yes. So I like kind of the different ways that you can get there, but I liked the idea of like just the chaos is essentially
Yeah.
the factor
I'm sensing
here.
a theme.
Seems like chaos screaming. Maelstrom people.
Look, it's perfect. I'm sending them all to all of my little revolutions.
Conditions are perfect.
So the reason I picked this though is because of a particular feat that you can take at level 13, so it's a higher one. But the feat is Arise Ye Worthy.
Ooh.
Oh.
And the feat is that you can be descended from the Valkyries who
Oh.
protect
Oh.
worthy souls.
Dang.
And then you can hold back Death's Grasp. And you can cast Breath of Life as an innate spell once per day.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty cool.
I just really liked that like story beat of being tied to the Maelstrom, but then like the Valkyries are your like tie to it. Just was really cool to me.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Oh man, that's like super. Like, so it's once per day,
Mm-hmm.
bringing people back day and night.
I know,
Every
right?
day.
Like it would be helpful.
What level was that?
13.
Okay.
So
Yeah, it's
but-
like a reasonable time,
Yeah.
especially if you're like a martial-y kind of focused character though, and you don't have spellcasting.
Yeah,
like,
you
that's
don't
a-
raise dead.
That's like a really cool like. Yeah, because like for a magical character, you're casting a spell, but I would totally theme that as
oh
like,
yeah.
get up! You're not allowed to die!
Yes, exactly.
About to die until I kill you.
The other cool thing, so at level 1, you can choose a couple of different like physical things for feats. So like there's a feat that gives you unusual sensory abilities passed down from your chaotic forebearers,
Mm.
or you can have a tail, or you could have small tiny wings that help you with balance, or you can be super flexible.
Sure.
So there's at level 1 you can choose some different feats that like let you do like interesting physical things with your body. So there's just like some fun flavor options I feel like in that heritage. So
Yeah.
That's really cool.
yeah. I also want to call heritages heritagei.
Heritage Eye.
I thought of that too. I was like,
It
what's
might be
wrong?
worse.
Heritage Eye.
Slightly easier to say. Still terrible.
I like it.
But yeah, that's the Gonzi.
Cool. So what I picked for my first ancestry or versatile heritage is the Nephilim.
Nephilim.
So yeah, the Nephilim are what replaced Tiefling and Aasimar in the
Okay.
remaster.
Okay.
So if you've ever dealt with Tiefling, you're used to like horns and tails and whatever, and you have Aasimar of like wings and glowy skin and whatever. But those were too close to the OGL in Wizards, so they replaced them with Nephilim.
And they're both replaced by one.
They're both replaced by one,
Okay.
which I actually kind of like a little bit better, because kind of what they've done is instead of having the two, like angels and or demons or devils, it's now you can choose between like all four, like, oh, are you from archons, or are you from daemons, or are you from devils, or are you from angels? And so like they took out the tiefling Asmar but gave you more ability to like do what you want, to kind of like make your character your own based on like kind of the different planes of existence they're influenced from, which I just thought was kind of cool. Like obviously they did it from an OGL perspective, but I think they were able to take something that like they had to change to kind of make it a little bit more broad and made it nice.
Well, they weren't really like, they filled a hole, definitely, like covering some of the other areas.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, are you angels or are you devils? And you're like, okay, there's a bunch more planes that you can choose from, and there wasn't really an option for those. So like I like that and you can kind of mix and match as well, which is cool. So like if you wanted to be, I don't know, a weird mix of like devil and angel, like that's an option now.
Okay.
So it kind of adds some more story beats if you're like, what happened in your family line? I don't know, but things happened.
My father was an angel, but my mother was a succubus.
Yes.
Woo.
I mean, that's a cool story to tell.
But are they still together?
Well, it's the third marriage, but you know.
Oh.
Each?
Yeah, each.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, it works out, you know.
Can't wait to hear about all those half siblings.
Oh boy.
We're going. Okay, guys, we're going to visit my parents. Man, well, that sounds like a boring campaign.
Family reunion.
That'd be a fun campaign, actually.
That would be kind of a fun campaign.
But it's like a joint custody thing. Like you have to visit both parents' houses in both planes.
Hey, or maybe they're like
Thanksgiving
happy and they meet in the
Christmas
middle.
Different houses.
Yes.
Oh.
So, yeah, Nephilim, I think are pretty cool. I haven't built one yet, but I picked the feat level 9 Divine Wings. You call forth magical wings from your back, similar in appearance to those of your forebear. So if you're like an angelkin, you can be angel wings.
Yeah.
If you're a demon spawn, you can have demon wings.
Yeah.
And then those wings remain for 10 minutes and you gain a fly speed, which is super nice. That eventually leads to the feat Eternal Wings, which is a 17th level feat, and then your wings just stay
have
forever.
wings.
Oh yeah,
But-
I did make a character that was an Azamar when that was what it was called.
Yeah.
Okay, there you
That's
go.
right, because Rael was a
Yeah, with the
Aasimar.
wings.
But yeah, so you like got the wings, and it's just kind of a nice way to have flight. Don't have to worry about it.
As we learned in higher levels, that can be
Higher levels, flight is important.
critical.
Yes.
2 of us are on the ground. The rest of the party is in the air. Dang it.
Yeah. I wasn't sure how many feats we were picking, but there was the level 1 feat called Halo. And you just have a halo of light and goodness that sheds light with the effect of a divine light cantrip.
Precious.
So yeah, you can just chill around with a halo, and you're like,
Can you turn it off?
yeah, you can.
Good.
So you can suppress her stuff. I'm
Put a hat
rogue.
on.
I'm a rogue with a halo. It's like, I'm going to sneak around the corner. Hey, who's that guy?
What? Me? Huh?
It's the other guy with the halo.
I'm just a nightlight.
It's fine. But yeah, Nephilim. Pretty cool. Nice and versatile for a heritage.
I definitely got to look into it more. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah. Okay. Ryan, what do you got next?
So the second one, now I'm going to go a little weirder. I picked Reflection,
Okay.
and I kind of struggled to think that I would want to play this, but I think this is prime fodder for a big bad evil.
Yeah.
So a Reflection is a character who is like born as a reflection of an existing character from a mirror.
Oh.
So like you are a duplicate of an existing person, but you are like created from the mirror.
Oh boy.
Oh my gosh.
It's very weird. So yeah, it says methods of their creation vary, but all reflections are duplicates of someone else existing in the world. Some are drawn from literal mirrors, while others are born from mirror-focused rituals.
Okay.
Yeah. Super duper weird. There's even like a note. There's no known NPC in Pathfinder canon that is a reflection.
Oh.
So they're like, we made this. It's a really cool idea. There aren't any.
We've
informal
never
canon.
used it.
I feel like there's a bunch of different ways you can do that too. Is you obviously have like evil twin.
Oh, I read that wrong. Hold on. I read that entirely wrong. You cannot make a reflection of a canon character. That's the I read that wrong. Yes.
Okay.
So you can't be like that NPC over there. I want them.
I am Valorous, the reflection. It's like, hey man, especially for like Pathfinder Society, you're like, oh, I showed up with an iconic, and they're like, oh yeah, you can do that. You're like, no, a reflection of the iconic.
I'm the iconic, but slightly different.
With a mustache.
Slightly longer facial hair. So I picked 2 feats. The first one's just level 1. Instead of only picking up their appearance, you can also pick some of their knowledge and lore.
Ooh.
So you can pick up the lore skill corresponding to the ancestry of what you're a reflection of. So like if you're an elf, you can also pick up elven lore.
Okay.
Which I think is just really cool. And you can play like, oh, well, I know things about elves. Like I'm an elf, obviously, even though you're not.
Kind of a reflection. Huh.
Oh man, you know what I would do? I would use the reflection as like a person who's trying to extend their life. So like, oh, I'm going to make a reflection of younger me. Like with the, like, it's like magical cloning, but it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
And then memories. Oh, I have created a completely separate being, but I want this being to be younger me to do my stuff that I now can't do anymore, but then they like gain autonomy and then go out and do something else.
That's a Will Smith movie.
That's
what?
Is it the Will Smith movie? You have The Island, which is Ewan McGregor
it's the
movie.
one where like young Will Smith tries to kill old Will Smith.
Oh, was that After Earth?
No, that's After Earth's the one with his kid.
Oh.
Will Smith movie where he kills him.
I don't know if this is the thing. I was thinking about The Island where they're basically like breeding people as like organ donors.
Oh,
but
yeah.
They didn't realize.
Yeah. That one has Scarlett Johansson in it, right? And Ewan McGregor.
Ewan McGregor. Yeah, they had like the memories of their old, like, of their live people and they didn't realize it.
Oh, yeah. Man.
Yeah.
It might be Gemini Man?
Oh, gosh.
Smith uses CGI to play his modern self and a 23-year-old version of himself, his clone.
Oh.
I do remember that trailer and being like, huh?
Do we need this? No. Like anything else, I feel like that one would be a hard... What would be funny is like, that one needs a lot of like GM commitment to like tie into it. What would be really funny is if you were like a reflection and just like, the GM just never dealt with it. You were just like, the whole time, like you never ran into yourself. You were just a normal person the whole time. They're like, whatever happened? It's like, maybe I was the real person the whole time.
I can fix
No, but I would do it. I would like make the reflection and then I would take like the hunted background.
Ooh.
Like your OG is like looking, like hunting you down.
Yeah.
And then you have joined this party to try to escape and be under the radar.
Oh, okay, that's kind of cool.
That would be easier for the GM to pull into.
Well, I have a second feat for you, Sam.
Oh.
Mirror Refuge. Level 9 feat. You can hide in mirrors, like meld into stone.
Oh.
So it's as the spell meld into stone, except you meld into mirrors as like an extra dimensional
that's cool.
hidey hole.
Oh, I like that.
Can you imagine? You're setting up camp for the night and everyone pulls out their sleeping bags and you're like, don't worry, I got this. You just pull out a mirror. It's like, wait, what are you doing? Oh, this is where I sleep. Meld.
Well, it only lasts for 10 minutes.
Oh,
so I mean, you could get a cat nap, I suppose. And then it's spec'd out. If someone breaks the mirror, you pop back out and you take 10d6.
Oh, dang.
Oh my
and
gosh.
bad luck.
Okay, guys. So what I would do. Okay. All right. I would have this reflection that was created by like this OG person. And the whole idea is to create the reflection so that the reflection can like bring them back to life if they die or like be there as the insurance policy so they don't like lose all of their money and their wealth and whatever. And so they have continually kept the reflection trapped in mirrors.
Oh.
And then somebody else shows up and breaks the mirror. And then that frees the reflection, and then they join the party.
I love this.
Yes, and then, like, well, now I don't know if I'm the GM or I'm the character at this point. But what would be cool...
Maybe the GM is a reflection of the player.
I am all characters. But then... This is gonna be a weird game.
The end of the campaign is just a zoom out of Sam playing a campaign in the like a little white room at a psych hospital. She's played all the characters. She's a reflection of herself.
I keep getting up and just sitting in different seats.
It's Shutter Island.
Oh, it's so sad.
The D&D campaign.
Anyway, I would have the first session be like in this like person's mansion and you're trying to steal something and then you inadvertently break the mirror and this person pops out of it and that's how they join the party.
Ooh.
And it's like, there's no time to explain, but you need to get me out of here.
Yes. Like, oh, you want that thing? I can tell you where it is. I can get it for you. And then we have to GTFO.
That's such a good idea.
I like it.
Ah,
Man.
let's go.
Okay. Cool.
all I
Well,
got.
how are you going to follow that with your own character after you already made a campaign? Do you have a second heritage?
I do have a second heritage. Naturally, I have chosen Dampier, which is the mortal children of vampires,
Good.
because we haven't talked about vampires enough.
Notoriously afraid of mirrors.
I'm all over the place.
Yeah, there's a Dampier in the party. He sees a mirror,
Can you
shatters. He gets.
Could you be a reflection of a Dampier?
I can't fit.
Well, yeah, then you're afraid of mirrors for a lot of reasons.
You can meld in the mirrors. You can't see yourself in them. Anyway. Okay.
Just jump in the mirror to hide from it. I don't want to see myself. It's fine. Anyway, all right. So, Dampiers are children of vampires, and it's kind of weird because vampires are undead. So they can be like the children of a mortal and a vampiric parent, or they could be a pregnant person who becomes a vampire while they're pregnant.
Sure.
Then that child could be a Dampier.
Okay.
Sure.
Is kind of how we get there. Or like, you know, some dark rituals or some weirdo supernatural stuff.
Yeah.
Dark rituals.
You know.
Yes. But the point is that they are mortal, but they're still kind of weird. Because they kind of look a little bit like vampires.
They're a little extra.
Vampirish.
So there's a little off-putting. But so they respond to like positive and negative energy as if they are undead.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
They have
that's
negative
like,
healing.
like the mechanic that's a little bit like different for them. So it's not just like a bunch of pale people running around.
Talk to your party members.
Yes, please.
Make,
Talk to your...
make sure your cleric's not expecting to drop heal bombs.
You should tell your party.
Unless you're like a hidden Dampier and then the cleric one time is like,
Oh,
3-action heal. Oh no.
You should not target me.
what a
Why?
way to find out.
Why? For what reason? You're injured.
All right, so the feats that I chose. So the first one I picked was Undead Companion, which is a level 5 feat. So you need to have an animal companion or a familiar, but then they are also touched by undeath,
Oh.
either like skeleton or zombie or some other strange form of unlife. So they get the undead trait as well, which I just thought like it would be funny from a aesthetic standpoint.
I'm picturing like a Pirates of the Caribbean situation. Like
Where with
the
monkey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like picturing like a little like skeletal like raccoon or something that's
Or,
just
like,
like,
the-
hanging out.
What's
like,
the dog's
hey,
name
dude.
from like Nightmare Before Christmas? The little tiny
Oh,
Jack
yes.
Skellington's dog.
I was
Little
going to say
ghost dog.
Fido, but there's no way that's right.
No, I
Mm.
can't remember his name though. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's like that,
Little
which I
ghost
just
dog.
that was kind of funny.
Nice.
And then the other feat that I chose was Night Magic, which is a level
Hey.
9 feat. I'm just like singing the song, working on my night moves, except working on my night magic. Anyway, so you gain animal form with night magic,
Okay.
but only wolf. So it's like, oh, it's like that whole werewolf vampire crossover. And you also get Obscuring Mist as a second level innate spell.
Well, that's a vampire thing.
Well,
sort
no,
of.
I just think it's hilarious though, because it's like, cool, I'm gonna cast Obscuring Mist and become a wolf, and then you can just dramatically walk out of the mist as a wolf.
Wait a second. Wasn't this guy a vampire? You're
To be
just
clear,
bucking all trends.
I don't care about using this for battle. I would use it for
The
dramatics.
bedroom, yes.
No, what?
Obviously the bedroom.
I would use it for
Come back to my
dramatic,
place. I'll show you my
No.
night magic.
dramatic entrances.
And then
Oh
you go into the bathroom to freshen up, and then you cast Obscuring Mist, and you come out like a wolf.
I don't know what Ryan's into. That was
I haven't
not
seen
the
Twilight.
plan.
I assume that's what happens in that movie.
You don't
Okay,
have to
what
choose the-
I'm picturing was like there's a ballroom and you're gonna dramatically enter in a poof of mist and a wolf, and then some really intense organ is gonna play, and then we're all gonna do Thriller.
We could put the organ in my bedroom. Ding!
Dun, 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 dun. Anyway. Oh, well, this got weird.
That's all I
That's amazing. No, I love it.
Yeah.
have.
Nice.
Hits all the tropes, but
Yeah.
in a fun
Right.
spin.
And throw some curveballs in there.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay, so my second option, or my second heritage that I picked was Changeling.
Changeling.
And if you played 3.5, as we had, Changeling is way different than it was from there. One of my favorite characters I think I ever built was a 3.5 Changeling, and they were kind of like, not children of, but descendants of like doppelgangers, so they had free change shape
Yes.
back in the day.
I loved my Changeling 3.5 character.
Yeah,
Yes.
they were great. So you can just be like, I change into this person, whatever. Unfortunately, they do not do that anymore.
Rude.
In Pathfinder, changelings are descendants of hags. So like hags are kind of coven witches that usually kind of do evil stuff and are kind of creepy. I don't know.
Oh, we back like in with Baba Yaga.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Baba Yaga's a hag. And changelings are either descendants of, being like born of thralls of hags, or like sometimes through kind of magic get born, and like nearby towns will sometimes get affected by hag magic, and changelings will be born there.
Okay.
By all views, like just by looking at them, they look human. The only difference is they have heterochromia, which is they have two different color eyes. So they always have one eye that's colored from their like father's lineage, and one eye based on their hag lineage.
Interesting.
And so the different types of hags have different colored eyes. And so the interesting thing about changelings is like they kind of go through normal adventure stuff, but at some point they feel the call.
The call,
Which is the call to like go back to their hag mother and then become a hag and like join the coven.
E.T. phone home.
Oh.
And so like a lot of changelings are like terrified of like receiving the call, because it's kind of like a mental effect to like compulse them to go back and become a hag. And so some resist the call, and like it's an interesting kind of story beat of like, this is going to happen, you don't know when, you're just going to feel a voice in your head to like come back.
Interesting. So do they become like a full hag at that point?
Yep.
Oh.
Yep. So they go, and like the whole thing is changelings will go back and then become a full hag and join their mother's coven.
Interesting.
Yeah. I think, as much as I loved the 3.5 changeling for different shape change abilities.
They're very different.
Yeah. These ones, I feel like there's a lot of story here. So you can choose, some of their feats are the type of hag coven you have.
Okay.
So one of the feats I picked was Moon May. They have the different blank May, which kind of defines what coven or what hag your mother was. The Moon May, your mother was a moon hag, a handmaid of Groatus. That's the moon that chills in the boneyard.
Yes, the one that's
and
there.
like,
yeah.
Word on the street is like, if the moon ever collides with the boneyard, Armageddon happens.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the Majora's Mask moon.
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. And you have a single scarlet eye and a sliver of supernatural foresight, so you can cast guidance as an occult cantrip. I mean, obviously, I think a scarlet eye is kind of cool, but like the idea of, having a hag that's like somewhat tied to that kind of undeath or like boneyard thing would be
Yeah.
interesting. And the other feat I picked was Called. It's a feat level 5, and you've heard the call, but you are resisting it. And by resistant, you developed a bulwark against effects that target your mind, so you get a bonus against will saving throws for mental effects.
Okay.
And like effects that would make you controlled. So no, I really like changelings as kind of like they could be basically adventurers for as long as you want. They're a little different. They have their like different color eyes, so you can kind of see hints of it. But then, if you wanted to like deal with the call at some point in the middle of a campaign, like that'd be kind of interesting to see, like, do you choose to follow the hag calling, or do you choose to resist it and try to fight back? Do you go and try to kill your mother and do that? So changelings, pretty cool.
I love that as like a mid-campaign NPC loyalty mission kind of
Yeah.
thing. Like you've been working with somebody for a while, and then like they're just gone, and it's like, oh no, we need to go find them.
Did they get the call? Like, yeah.
Metricide.
Yeah.
Wait, is that how you become a hag?
Well,
No,
like
you become
have
a
to
hag.
go
But
kill
if you
your
wanted
mom.
to, if you wanted to resist it.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You
okay.
become a hag in your mom's coven.
Yeah.
If you join the
it's
call.
matricide if you do resist.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yes, or if you have your party come try to save you from
Sure.
your fate.
Yeah. So changelings.
Very cool.
Pretty cool. Add a little spice to your backstory.
Are all the eyes like weird colors?
No, because like I think Calomay is like green because that
Yeah.
one's like the foresty one.
Yeah, so you have like Brine May is sea green or blue. Calomay is vibrant green. Dream May is violet or even black.
Okay.
Which is kind of cool.
So this is a world where like you just look like someone who has
Heterochromia. Yeah, it's
Heterochromia.
like not all heterochromia people are changelings, but all changelings have heterochromia.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, so
Very cool. I like this.
yeah,
Neat.
cool. Yeah, so versatile heritages.
Heritage.
They can add some cool character development. You can get some good GM plot hooks without having to try too hard there.
You could even throw it to all of your players. Like you could mandate a certain versatile heritage
Ooh, that
if you
could be
wanted
cool.
to play that kind of a campaign.
Yeah, if you go if you want a plains area, you can have like
Mhm.
different plane touched versatile
I'm thinking even like just everybody has to be changeling.
Ooh, that'd be kind of cool.
Like you're all going to hear the call at some point.
Ooh.
Or you say everyone has to take versatile heritage, but you don't know what yours is. Or if you like, again, we're getting really off the rails. But so I would build out like, okay, if we're starting like this campaign, like we like to do memories for things.
yeah.
So like, what's your memory of like being a kid or whatever? I would maybe have like part of that be something that's like the discovery of who you are.
Mm.
So like,
Ah.
oh, okay, you are going to find out that, you know, at 5, you realize that you have a tail and nobody else does. Or, you know, like how, so I would like give clues to it. And then obviously they can like figure it out with like knowledge, but I might make it the GM's going to pick for you and
I
you'll
like this.
discover it.
Nice. I like that.
It'd be kind of cool. Do you think we can call it like Versatile's heritage, like Cole's descent?
It's Surgeon's General Versatile's Heritage.
That's all I got.
Nice. Cool. Well, thank you guys. And as always try to do cool new things to spice up your characters, or don't. You live your life, you play your games.
Mhm.
Do what you want. But until next time, safe travels, everybody.